Back in the country where he won a Nobel Peace Prize, Barack Obama now rallying support for military action. Ironic or not, the president had a new, broader message, trying to widen responsibility for dealing with Syria's chemical weapons from himself to the entire world.
First of all, I didn't set a red line. The world set a red line. The world set a red line when governments representing 98% of the world's population said the use of chemical weapons are abhorrent and passed a treaty forbidding their use even when countries are engaged in war. Congress set a red line when it ratified that treaty.
So the we in the original red line comments the president made a year ago, it seems, is not the US government, but the international community, or so Barack Obama is now claiming.
We have been very clear to the Assad regime, but also to other players on the ground, that a red line for us is we start seeing a whole bunch of chemical weapons moving around or being utilized.
The president's en route to Russia for the G20 summit next. Preparing his welcome there, his host, Russian leader Vladimir Putin, was sharpening his rhetoric ominously.
In line with international law, only the UN Security Council could sanction the use of force against a sovereign state. Any other pretext or method which might be used to justify the use of force against an independent sovereign state is inadmissible and can only be interpreted as an aggression.
While world leaders bicker over Syria, the war there continues unabated, as these latest pictures from the outskirts of Damascus show. Amateur video that's hard to verify seems to show intense fighting between regime forces and the Free Syrian Army in a suburb of the capital, as well as an airstrike further north in the province of Idlib. Back in Washington, the effort to win congressional support continues, while anti-war protesters raise red hands behind him. US Secretary of State John Kerry continued making the case for strikes against Assad's forces.
Now, some have tried to suggest that the debate that we're having today is about this president's red line, that this is about President Obama's red line. Let me make it as clear as I can to all of you. That is just not true. This is about the world's red line. It's about humanity's red line.
The posturing in front of microphones is a million miles away from the people directly affected. In a refugee camp on Syria's northern border, the world's failure to act so far is deepening a sense of hopelessness.
Every day they change their mind and they're playing with us. What can we do? Today they want to interfere and tomorrow they don't. This provides the regime with an opportunity to hide its crimes.
If Bashar al Assad launched chemical weapons to test the world's resolve to deal with him and to demoralise his enemies, so far on both fronts it seems to be working. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, Washington.